Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever, wherever you are in the world. I'm happy to be with you for a few minutes today. My name is Rich Leimsider. I am the director of the AI for Nonprofits Sprint at the Fund for the City of New York. We are an effort that is currently working with more than 100 nonprofit organizations and 50,000 of their staff to bring everyday nonprofit workers to basic AI literacy. And one of the parts of our program that we are most excited about is working with our 100 plus nonprofit partners, supporting what we call AI learning teams within each organization. A small group of staff within sometimes much, much larger organizations that commit to doing learning on behalf of the organization that they will then share with peers and colleagues. We don't have capacity to do this with every nonprofit organization in the country, in the world. And so today I want to share with you a little bit of an overview about how these AI learning teams work, these peer learning opportunities, and give you a couple of the tools to perhaps build and run your own AI learning team at your organization, or even across a collection of a few organizations that you might work with. First of all, when we do our work through the AI sprint, we run what we call a four-step process. For every nonprofit we work with, we ask that they start by rolling out a staff survey to every single staff person and find out, where are they on AI right now? What are they scared of? What are they already using? How would they rate their expertise? We work with leadership to make sure that either basic guidelines or a full policy is rolled out to staff so that people know what is and isn't okay. And then we do some basic training. We do offer a 1 hour getting to know AI training for every single staff person at our partner organizations. But then we get to step 4, which we call the peer-to-peer learning opportunities with those AI learning teams. We believe really strongly that at the moment, at least, there are no good handbooks out there that will specifically tell you, as an HR staff person at a human services organization, or as a fundraiser at a major arts organization, what is the best way for you to be using generative AI tools like ChatGPT, like Microsoft Copilot, Anthropic's Claude, Google's Gemini? Right now, those handbooks don't exist. The truth is, those handbooks don't even exist for the bigger, wealthier organizations. There actually isn't a manual from ChatGPT about how investment bankers ought to be using ChatGPT. And so they're certainly not going to get around to creating those manuals for the rest of us, at least in the short term. But the beauty of how these AI tools work is that they engage with us in plain language. We can talk to them, in some cases, actually using our voices if we wanted to do that. However we talk, it doesn't have to be a certain kind of education level. We can interact with these tools and get support. And so one of the best ways to figure out what people call the use cases, the examples of how AI can be useful to you in your job and you at your organization, is to experiment with your colleagues. Again, there are no handbooks or manuals for your particular organization. And we tend to actually be skeptical of consultants that say they will come in and teach your staff how to use AI best for themselves. Because the truth is, your staff are the most expert in what their jobs are. And they are going to be the ones who figure out how to make these tools work for themselves. So let me go through what an AI peer learning team can look like, and then give you a little sense of how you might want to create something like that for your organization. An AI learning team should be a diverse subset of your staff. If you have 50 employees, it might be 5 staff. If you have 2,000 employees, it might be 15 or 20 or 30 staff. Ideally, they represent different departments, different functions, program, fundraising, back office and operations, staff from multiple levels in the organization. It's really important that an AI learning team not only represent executive leadership. The whole point of these tools is that they are great ways to engage whether you're new to the organization, whether you have a lot of formal education or a pretty minimal amount of formal education. And so we like to see teams that are truly diverse in all kinds of background and perspective. What does it mean to be on one of these learning teams? Every single person on an AI learning team should have access to the good stuff, what the technologists call a frontier model. That really means one of the paid versions of one of the most popular AI tools. It might mean the $20 a month version of ChatGPT or the similar version of Claude. It might mean that you have unlocked, if you are an organization that already uses Google or already uses Microsoft, that you've unlocked the good version of AI for the members of that team. Even if you haven't done it for your full organization because you're taking more of a wait and see attitude or you want to be cost conscious, the people on your learning team need to have access to the good versions of AI. The truth is, the free models are not as successful at getting things done. And frankly, they can teach frustration. If we're encouraging people to learn and use AI tools and they're only using what's available for free, they're going to think AI can't do things that in fact it actually can do. So identify a diverse group of people, pay for them to get the good AI tools. If you're already a member of the AI for Nonprofit Sprint, we have access to some paid licenses that we can share with our partners and members. Every member of the AI learning team has to make a commitment. And that commitment is that they will spend at least 1 to 2 hours every single week trying to do their day job using AI. It's not going to be about playing and planning a birthday party for their kids. If they work in HR, they have to try to actually analyze the results of a recent staff survey about return to work. They have to, if they're in fundraising, do a role-playing practice exercise where they are going to go talk to a high net worth individual. If it's the CEO, you could do a role-playing, practicing talking to your board chair. But it has to be real, everyday work that you're trying to get done using an AI tool at least 1 to 2 hours a week. And then once a month, we get the whole team together. And here is where, in our very practical experience over the past 6 months, where that really shines. The group comes together and shares successes, failures. This could be a Zoom meeting at a distributed organization. If you all have the privilege of being in the office, you get into a room together and you invite members of the learning team to actually show what worked and what didn't. So this is a chance to put up on screen and actually go through a 5-minute conversation that you had with Microsoft Copilot. And you said, I tried to get it to do this. It wouldn't do it. I reframed the question and I actually got something pretty helpful. It's also a great time to share things that didn't work. I really tried to get it to clean up this spreadsheet and it was a total disaster. Does anybody have any ideas how I could have done that better? Borrowing from all kinds of peer learning activities that we've seen in many different contexts for the years, this is a great time to offer incentives for both success and failure because it's the experimentation that we're trying to celebrate. So a $20 Starbucks gift card for a cool example and an equal $20 Starbucks gift card for the biggest failure and the biggest mess over the past month, can go out in a random drawing to members of the learning team every month. Going through that process over 4 to 6 months, meaning 4 to 6 meetings of that learning team, meaning as many as 20 weeks of experience and therefore 40 hours of practice, that AI learning team is going to have not just significant intuition, but significant documentation. They will come out 6 months later with dozens of real practical examples of conversations with AI that are shareable with the members of their individual teams and then shareable across the organization, bringing that back to their small team, giving them an opportunity to present at department-wide meetings, maybe giving them an opportunity to present to org-wide staff meetings, and then even connecting to funders, to board members who are deeply interested at this point in opportunities with how AI might allow you to get more done in an environment of really concerning limitations on resources. So this AI learning team will be hopefully creating knowledge that's useful to themselves, but most importantly, creating knowledge and specific documented examples that can be brought back to a pretty wide variety of stakeholders at your organization. So that's a little bit of an overview about how we like to create peer-to-peer AI learning teams here at the AI for Nonprofits Sprint, working out of the fund for the City of New York. Again, if you're one of our member nonprofits, we of course look forward to working with you as you develop this team over time. But if we don't have the privilege of working with you directly, we hope this is a useful structure that you're able to take back to the work that you do every day. Thank you so much.